It's April 1st, 2019. My name is Bill McCamley. I am the Secretary of the New Mexico Workforce Solutions Department with an update for the day. A couple of things that I was doing down in Las Cruces earlier this morning. First met with New Mexico State University. So in the last legislative session, each legislator was given about $400,000 of discretionary funding to do what they saw fit with. And Representative Angelica Rubio from Las Cruces really wanted to see a study about clean energy and where jobs are going to be for rural and underrepresented populations. Because if you are a town where you live on oil and gas, and we're moving away from that, and we're developing wind, we're developing solar, where can you benefit from these jobs? And NMSU's engineering department actually reached out to us and said, hey, look, we're applying for a grant at the federal government. We're doing something very similar on a little bit more holistic basis, but maybe we can combine forces. So we started discussions down there. We did write a letter of recommendation for their grant. And if they do get it, we're looking forward to working with them to make sure that at least that portion of it is taken care of in those parts of the state that really need it the most. Then I went over to the Farm Bureau. The New Mexico Farm Bureau's main office is in Las Cruces, as is the New Mexico Department of Agriculture. And the reason being is we're working on this big Apprenticeship Rescale program that Governor Lujan Grisham really wants us to work with. Remember, the concept is if you go work for a company and can get paid and can learn what you need to be doing on the job and have a job waiting for you, that's really good for the employer, because many employers around the state are having trouble finding employees with the skills that they need to fit their business. And we have a bunch of people that are looking for work. So we can marry those together. People with an interest in doing something can get the skill sets they need to get the jobs that the employers need. It's a win-win. So meeting with the Farm Bureau, they were really great actually to meet with. They said, hey, you can't just do agriculture. You have to really specify what you're doing. And they mentioned three different things. Number one, the dairy industry is very large here in New Mexico. They're going to have their own specific skill sets for their facilities. Row farmers are going to have their own skill sets. And these are folks that say, hey, we're going to plant chili or onions or lettuce or whatever we think we're going to make money off of. And then you have pecan growers, which are really big in Doña Ana County, but also in the southeast portion of the state around Roswell. And they have their own issues with grafters and being able to operate the equipment where you sweep up the pecans, that sort of thing. We're already working with the wine growers, and that's its own kind of niche industry, but they promised to reach out to some of their members and say, hey, how do we want to do this? And can you all come up with a skill set that you need that's combined so that we can work with Workforce Solutions and get an educational program that'll work? I actually talked with a friend of mine, Cliff Pirtle. He's a senator over in Roswell, and he said, look, for at least the row farmers, he is one. He says, if you know some basic car repairs, you can repair engines and such for tractors and diesel pumps and that sort of thing, and how to do animals, you're going a long way. So those are the types of things I think we're going to try to be looking at. The last thing I was going to do in Los Lunas, and then we had some issues with the appointment, but I'm meeting with this guy tomorrow. There is an ex-administrator there for the schools named Buddy Dillo, who actually made the paper talking about soft skills. We hear this everywhere, right? Where people hire someone and there's a work ethic issue, people showing up on time. There's a real issue with looking people in the eye and communicating them for jobs that require you to interact with the public. There's over and over, we hear people saying, we need you to write a resume that's grammatically correct. We need you to just show up to an interview with a button-down shirt, all those sorts of things. And he's got a program that's apparently been fairly successful in Los Lunas, and I'll be meeting with him tomorrow morning to see what he's doing, how he's doing it, how effective it is, and if it's working, is it something we can model in other places, since this is one of the things that I hear everywhere I go. The last thing I'll say is, yes, it is my birthday. I'm 41 years old today. I'm really happy to be here, and everyone can make your April Fool's jokes about, yes, it so fits your personality. But what I would ask you is, if you want to get me something, you want to say hi on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, that's great. But I would also say, hey, can you pick one thing to help out? And, spend an hour volunteering, reading to a kid, picking up trash on the road, helping the homeless. I'm going to actually try to do that in the next couple weeks. But today, I'm going to go online today and donate some money to both Annunciation House. They are the organization in El Paso that's helping all of the refugees and asylum seekers coming across the border. And I'm going to go donate to the Community of Hope, which in my hometown of Las Cruces is the group that really helps a lot of the homeless folks there with services. They help coordinate healthcare and food, and they help people find real transitional housing so they can get off the streets. I think if we all do a little bit, regularly, a lot can get done, and I would really appreciate it. As always, if you have questions, comments, concerns on these or any other issues, I'd love to hear from you. Hope everyone's having a wonderful April Fool's Day. Bye.